So I think history is going to say that this was a good idea, and the Land Trust did a great job in putting it all together for us.
The bookends of our work early on were the school programs for kids, helping them make the transition to high school, and the programs for adults, which basically people from all walks of life up here get together and try to talk through some of the concerns and possibilities concerning the forest.
What appeals to me about the Stewardship Center is that it is an educational center, and they're all about taking people onto the land and using it as a teaching tool.
This whole concept of trying to teach people how to make a living out of the forest without killing it, that idea just intrigued me, and the work that they were doing here at the center, both the studying of the land, the analysis of the land, I think is a great benefit to the Northeast Kingdom in general. We bought this 237-acre piece just to essentially prevent it from being developed. And then I got in touch with the Vermont Land Trust.
It really started with a kernel of interest by one landowner who shared the values of the Northwood Stewardship Center, supported them, allowed them to use trails on his land, and felt that there was an opportunity here to protect a bigger piece of land associated with the Stewardship Center, and took a first step to conserve his own land, knowing in some ways he was acting in isolation, but hoping that eventually he wouldn't be, that by leading by example, he would encourage other landowners. And as a result, now we've got over 2,600 acres associated with the Northwood Stewardship Center that's been protected with conservation easements.
I think what attracted me to the land originally was that it had been ill-used, both financially and in terms of forest management.
She said to me, "What am I ever going to do with that land? Why don't I just give it to the center?" And I said, "That's a great idea." And she did.
If we could do this, it would serve as a teaching tool, as a model. And that's always very appealing, to be able to have that multiplier effect. It's not just me, we're getting a whole group together doing this thing that's bigger than any of us, and that's cool.
So we went from having nothing to having 40-something acres right here and around here, to having 100 acres when a little big piece got added onto that, to having 1,500 acres. So things began happening. So now there is a long-term integrity to all of this, something that is essential in ecological studies, in any kind of sustainable program. So the whole world changed under our feet when that began happening. And I think the Land Trust has been very wise in how it's gone about doing things, both in terms of making an impact and in getting the local community to buy onto it. Because here, it's not just one piece of property, it's a bunch of pieces of property that seem to make sense. Lakeshore, hillside, old lands that had been too heavily logged. They're piecing them all together so that 30, 50, 100 years from now, it'll make enormous difference to this area, instead of just a lot of little individual pieces. It was a real plan that they seem to be following, and they're doing it very graciously, very subtly, but it's definitely a plan.
Preserving it, that's one nice thing, but preserving it and sharing it is even better, because now you can have lots of people learning on that land